Welcome to Ghoulish Gab. Always spooky, always under 7 minutes because you have lots of other things to do. Today, we're going to talk about Muppets and we're going to imagine horror movies that we would like to see done with Muppets because let's be honest, who isn't a fan of Muppets? Like serial killers, probably.
Serial killers and my podcast co-host, the only people I know who aren't fans of
Ooh.
Muppets.
Well, we won't get into that. Why don't you? So we both came up with a couple ideas for movies and who we would want the Muppets to be, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to let Kayla start off with the first one. What do you got for us?
The ultimate one would be the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. Every Muppet movie has to have one human person who stays like as the straight man. Ving Rhames would absolutely stay as the straight man. So that would put that main character of Anna by Miss Piggy and the main guy of Michael as Kermit, obviously, because they have that like little love interest thing going on.
Yep.
Uh Mekhi Phifer's character Andre would be played by Gonzo, and his pregnant wife would be Camilla the chicken, so
Yep.
that when they have the zombie baby, it would be a zombie chicken egg hatching. The asshole security guards would be played by Uncle Deadly and Bobo the bear.
Okay.
And I mean, and then I was thinking all those people that come in on the truck as the survivors would be Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Oh, nice.
And Dr. Teeth would play the Norma, the like truck driver woman that like kind of leads them all.
Yeah.
And then the zombies could either be played by just the random cast of all the available extra Muppets out there, or the Yip Yip aliens from Sesame Street. So when
Nice.
they're on
For
top of the
that.
mall and looking out, it's just a bunch of aliens going yip 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 yip. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's good.
And then my
That's good.
favorite part of it would be that the Andy, the guy in the gun store across the parking lot,
Oh, yeah.
would
Yeah.
be played by the Swedish chef. So that when they finally get him the walkie, you just hear bork, 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 bork.
Oh, that's great. That is amazing.
My dream Muppet casting.
Oh, that is good. The first one that came to mind for me when I started thinking about this for some reason was House of a Thousand Corpses. And there's a lot of characters, so it works out good. I would put Kermit in with the other, the victims, the main cast of victims. They would all still be humans, and we would just plop Kermit in there with them. So then when you start to meet all the awful characters, the Firefly gang, uh, Mother would be played by Camilla the chicken, and Grandpa by the Swedish chef. Um, yeah, so Otis would be played by Gonzo. I thought that would be, that would be good. Baby, of course, would have to be Miss Piggy because that's the leading, female role. Um, Captain Spaulding would be Fozzie Bear all the way because he is the comic relief in that movie. And then you have a handful of other characters. Dr. Satan would be played by Beaker, just because like the guy the scientist or whatever that creates him. I don't think he has a name. That would the professor or whatever. That would have to be Bunsen Honeydew. So then I thought it would be natural to put Beaker as Dr. Satan, and it'd be terrifying to see him and all that get up and crap. The rest of the Firefly gang, you have Tiny, who would be played by Sweetums,
Yes.
Rufus, played by Sam the Eagle, and the sheriff and the detective would be played by Rolf and Scooter.
That makes so much sense. So much
It
sense.
does. You got another one too, right?
Yes. The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Okay.
In my opinion, one of the better exorcism movies that is completely underlooked or overlooked. Um, you would keep Tom Wilkinson as Father Richard Moore. Like he would stay the priest just on trial. His defense attorney would be played by Miss Piggy. And the prosecuting attorney would be played by Fozzie Bear because I'm imagining him hitting all these key points, but then trying to crack a bad joke. Emily Rose would be played by Janice from the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah, Janice Teeth.
And then all the defense attorney's boss who tries to get her to like back off and just let him plead guilty would be played by Sam the Eagle.
That's so good.
And then all the doctors that they call to the stand would be Bunsen, Beaker, Pepe, and Rizzo.
Yes. It's hard to find places for Pepe and Rizzo in some of these, but they got to be in there. The other idea that I had would be more of like a Universal Monsters short stories or anthology film, because you can't just do, you know, a whole one of those movies, but you could put it all together great. So you get Kermit and Miss Piggy as Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. That has to happen. Fozzie Bear as the Wolfman. Um, and that's just because Rolf has to be the Phantom of the Opera. Um,
Obviously. Obviously.
obviously, yep. So then Jekyll and Hyde, you know, you got Beaker and Honeydew as Jekyll. Somehow that works. And then Animal as Hyde, um, which leaves the Dracula. That was a tough one because everybody, you know, who I would have used was already used up. But I figure Scooter can play a straight Dracula, and Gonzo is the Invisible Man because he was totally losing his shit in that original movie. And then Kermit's nephew Robin as the creature from the Black Lagoon.
You know, technically, Sesame Street characters are Muppets. So the Count could play Dracula.
Ooh, that would be perfect. And we are just about out of time. In the comments, tell us about your dream Muppet makeover horror movie and what the roles would be. And tell us what you thought of ours. Or don't. Whatever.